out here in nature getting some sunlight this morning, and I thought I'd go ahead and get on here real quick and catch up with you guys. I know it's been a while since we've last talked. I had to take a bit of a hiatus to deal with my own life and, you know, go through my own journey of ascension, which I'm definitely going to be talking to you guys about, because during my journey I've received so many downloads that I'm ready to start sharing with you guys, that I feel like it's really going to help all of us innovate our lives and really elevate ourselves to the next level that we're trying to reach and that we're trying to accomplish. And one of the major things that I'll say that I've learned this year, one of the major lessons that I've learned this year is how the physiology of a human being works energetically, number one, and then number two, how that plays into our overall well-being, especially our emotional well-being. This Cancer season has been really interesting. I know for me, it's been bringing up a lot of subconscious behaviors that I wasn't aware of at first, and now that they're being brought to my attention, I'm having to address them and overcome them and reshape them. And even though it's really triggering, super duper triggering, it's coming up so that it can be transformed, you know, because in order to be able to elevate higher, in order to be able to build the career, the aspirations, the life that I want, my foundation has to be stable. And at the end of the day, all of our foundation, the foundation of our lives as human beings on this earth, is our emotions. Our emotional stability is the foundation of our lives. So if you don't have an emotional stability, or if you're not emotionally stable, then it's going to be really hard for you to build and curate your life. Like, that's why in your natal chart, or in a natal chart, the 10th house, which is the cusp of the 10th house, is your midheaven, is the highest point of your chart. That's like the mountaintop. That's the pinnacle. That's your legacy. That's what you're going to be remembered for. You know, that's how you show up in the world. That's your career. You know, that's all of those types of things. But while the 10th house is at the top, the midheaven is at the top, the 4th house, which is ruled by Cancer and represents your homes, your roots, the relationship with your mother, your emotional habits and patterns, all of those types of things, is at the bottom of the chart. It's at the very bottom of the chart, which shows you right there that your emotions are the foundation of your chart, the foundation of your life. So, and in our society, we're taught to put our emotions last. We're taught to disregard our emotions if it's good, especially if it benefits us monetarily, if it benefits us some type of way in physical wealth. But at the end of the day, that goes against the very nature of you loving yourself. We need to start curating our lives and putting ourselves in situations that don't require for us to disregard any parts of ourselves, you know. Instead of, you know, disregarding certain parts of ourselves, I feel like we need to start really creating our lives and the situations that we want, that are going to work best for us. Because at the end of the day, my paradise isn't going to look the same as your paradise, you know. even if we did, you know, create our perfect lives, they would not look exactly the same. And that's why we have to take power as creators, you know, to really start being intentional about what we put out there into this world. And that starts with working with, you know, like I said, your emotions and your emotional stability, your emotional foundation, clearing out, you know, all of those old woundings and old habits and old patterns, you know. Ooh, these bugs are just out this morning. Hey, little bugs, give me just a minute, okay? Give me some space bugs, okay? Clearing out all of the emotional debris that comes from childhood, that comes from past life situations, that comes from, you know, relationships that we manifested because of the habits and the patterns that we learned in childhood. Like, all of those things make such a difference, and we have to be more aware, you know, about really where we come from and where we learn the mindsets and the things that that we have adapted and that subconsciously run on replay in the back of our heads, you know, because that's the stuff that you ignore is the stuff that's really calling the shots, you know. That's the stuff that we really want to get to and we really want to deal with. So I'm going to share with you guys one example of how that's come up for me recently. So recently, me and my sister, you know, we've been rekindling our relationship. We've been building a closer relationship, and we have a difficult relationship. I have a difficult relationship with my mom. Let's just say that we are just two different type of people who think two different types of ways. You know, there's been a lot of, y'all know how it is in a Black household where we don't talk about mental health issues. You know, people want to sweep stuff under the rug. People don't want, you know, it's easier to project than to actually deal with your own shit. It's kind of like that type of situation. So anyways, me and my sister, we've been talking recently, you know, and the relationship with our mother, I qualify it as narcissistic. It's definitely a narcissistic relationship. We have a narcissistic mom, and it's affected us in different ways, you know. Even like, for example, in the narratives that she pushed with us, you know. So the narrative that she pushed with me was that, you know, I should focus on my appearance and not so much on my education. I should, you know, focus on marrying wealthy and not so much so on, you know, following my dreams and creating the life that I want and I deserve, you know. Versus my sister, you know, who she pushed the narrative of, you know, go out there, get what you want, be independent, do it yourself, you know. So, and it's just interesting how the different narratives that she pushed with us really shaped our perspectives on life, you know. So for me, for example, she was telling me to focus on basically relationships. And so subconsciously that gave me the subconsciously, hold on, let me give you just a second. So subconsciously that gave me the message that I wasn't as smart as my sister. She pegged me as the pretty one and she pegged my sister as the smart one. So subconsciously that made my sister feel ugly, and subconsciously that made me feel stupid. It made me question myself, you know. And, you know, the way that that played out was this, I didn't feel smart. I didn't try. I really didn't try in school. I didn't try at all. Like, I felt like, what was the point? You know, I didn't try. And because I didn't try, I struggled in school as a child. Like, I think I failed the 2nd grade or 3rd grade or something like that. And it was just because of the messages that I was being sent. You know, it was more of you. I'm a pretty face and not, you know, there's actually, I'm an intellectual being, and people actually, you know, care about what I think is valuable, what I have to say is valuable. You know, my value was diminished subconsciously at a very young age, you know. And so just realizing that, and now coming to a place where I know all of those things aren't true. You know, I know what I have to say is valuable. I know I bring so much more to the world, you know, than just my beautiful face. You know, I know what I possess, and I know what I can do, and I know what I can create, but it's still those subconscious thoughts and those subconscious, you know, habits that are just coming up to be purged. You know, those are the types of things that we're really dealing with. And what really helps me is, honestly, is thinking about it from the perspective of the adult me dealing with my inner child, because that's all it is. This is my inner child. My inner child, she's still wounded, she's still hurt, and I'm working through healing my inner child. And you know, it's just the same way you would do with a baby. You know, when the baby starts crying, you rock the baby. When the baby starts crying, you know, you soothe the baby. When the baby starts crying, you get the baby a snack, or you take the baby on a drive, you know, or you sing a song to the baby. You have to cater to your inner child, you know. And so I have been working with my inner child a lot and asking her what she likes, what she wants, you know, what is going to make her feel safe and secure, you know, in this experience, so that way we can continue to build without pulling back, you know. Because that's all the inner child does. When the inner child feels like they're not being honored, then they just hold you back and you just sit still, you know, and then you get this stagnant energy. The inner child needs to be on board, because the inner child is what gives you that inspiration. The inner child is what connects to your heart, and your heart chakra is your most powerful chakra. You know, even though you might not be heart chakra dominant, most of us are like sacral or solar plexus dominant. You know, we have a dominant lower chakra, but the heart chakra is actually the most powerful chakra. It's the center of all of the chakras, you know. So that's why it's important to have your inner child be on board, you know, because that's what's going to give you that excitement, that inspiration, that passion, just to keep going. And so I've been talking to my inner child, and the way that you can find out, you know, the energy of your inner child through astrology is by looking at your south node. You know, your north node is going to tell you what energy that you're working towards, but your south node is going to tell you what energy you're coming from, or basically what energy you embody when you're young or as a child, you know, in those earlier years. Well, my south node is in Leo. So with us having a south node in Leo, I like nice things. I like pretty things. I like to be shiny. I like to be regal. I like to be classy. I like to feel royal, you know. I've always been the little girl who picked the most expensive dress in the store subconsciously. I never even looked at the price tags, but I always just gravitated towards nice things, you know. And so my inner child likes to feel beautiful. So that's why I make sure I have my pretty jewelry, you know, and I make sure I keep my nails done, and I make sure I keep my hair done, and I make sure I look good, and I make sure I take care of my body, and I make sure, you know, I work on my heart and my solar plexus, you know. These are all of the things that help my inner child stay happy and stay on board with everything that we're trying to curate. So yeah, look at your south node. Tell me what's your south node, and how you can incorporate that south node energy into really understanding your inner child and building that relationship. Because I'm telling you, once you build that relationship with your inner child, and your inner child is on board with your plans, because that's the thing, being in alignment is really having your head, your heart, and your gut all in alignment. Your head, your heart, and your gut should all be in alignment. And you have to check in with those things frequently, you know, and you have to be aware of where the conflicts are. All of these things are important in curating and creating the life that you deserve. And like I said, I know emotions are a hard thing to work with sometimes, a hard thing to figure out sometimes, you know, to even dive into and deal with. So if you guys have any questions or need any tips, like in regards to specifics about how to deal with emotions, or, you know, how to call up these things and how to purge them, feel free to leave comments, and I'll check in with you guys, or you can message me personally, or you can book a session with me, because this is a really transformational time. This energy is so transformational. Like, you have the ability to create a completely different life. Like, what do you want? As a god or a goddess in this world, you have the power to co-create whatever it is that you want. So what you want? Like, for real, what you want? And once you figure out what you want, then let's create it, you know? Let's do it. Anything is possible. That's just how I feel. At this point in time, I just feel like anything is possible. I'm grateful to be to this point. I'm grateful for all of the connections that I've made so far. I'm excited to build new connections. I'm currently in Nashville right now. I'm looking to expand my business. I'm actually looking for a business location in Nashville, and I'm looking for a business location in Memphis right now. If you guys have any info, feel free to inbox me. I'm looking to collaborate with other doulas in the area, other spiritualists in the area, whether it be Reiki masters, tarot readers, just the spiritual community, moms, children, astrologers. You know, I really just feel like it's time to build community, and so that we can transform together. Like, it's so much easier for us to do these things together. And even if we aren't necessarily in the same neighborhoods, we have to start connecting with our neighborhoods and building those things, you know, curating our environment and creating an environment that is going to help us thrive. You know, that's what's going to be so important right now, because, like, once again, like I said, we're in Cancer season, and you guys may not know this, but Cancer energy is actually responsible for survival. That's why Cancer is the mother of the zodiac. You know, the mother births the baby, and the mother makes sure the baby survives, you know. So that means the mom makes sure you have shelter. The mom makes sure, you know, you have food. The mom makes sure you have clothes. The mom makes sure that you're comfort and nourished and nurtured. A good mom does anyway, you know. A mom checks in with you and makes sure that you are prepared to grow and prepared to thrive, you know. That's what Cancer energy is. So we are right now, and Cancer, like I said, rules the home as well. Your home environment, your daily environment plays such a major role in your growth. So even if, and it's real easy to focus on the things that you can't change and you can't control, but at the end of the day, it's more effective to focus on the things that you can change and you can control, you know. And so it's really just about changing our mindset, you know, changing the things that we focus on, you know. We are electromagnetic beings. And I know generally when I say we're electromagnetic beings, people look at me crazy, like, huh, what does that mean? Okay, what that means is, as a human being, we are designed in a way that we run on an electrical current, and we have a magnetic field, and we have a magnetic pull, you know. We are literally a magnet, the same way that the earth and the planets have a magnetic pull, the same way that, you know, if you put two magnets together and, you know, they repel, either they repel or they attract and stick together. humans have a magnetic pull as well. So we are electromagnetic beings. Now, one interesting thing that I've downloaded recently is that the electric part of us is controlled by our thoughts, and the magnetic part of us is controlled by our emotions. So that's why it's important to think positively and to feel positively, because with your thoughts, you are conducting electricity in your head. And if you are constantly thinking negatively about other people, or constantly thinking negatively about yourself or about your situation, then you are constantly short-circuiting yourself. You are constantly overheating yourself. You're creating connections in your brain that create anxiety within you, that create disease within you, that create restlessness and anger that manifests physically in different ways within you, and high blood pressure and things like that. So that's the electric part of it. That's why it's important to think positively, because when you think positively, then you have a flow of electrical current, versus you thinking negatively, which shows up in kind of like jolty energy, you know. And then when we move to the magnetic part, and this is why law of attraction works, because we really are magnets. The magnetic part is about feelings. So if you're constantly feeling bad, or feeling sad, or feeling guilty, or feeling hopeless, you know, even if that's not what you want to feel anymore, if you're constantly feeling that way, then that's what you're calling to you. If you understand what I'm saying? As a magnet, you draw in things through your feelings. So how you feel right now is how you're calling more of that feeling to you. So that's why it's important to feel good, to feel happy, to feel beautiful, to feel luxurious, to feel abundant, to feel at peace, you know, to feel authentic. It's so important to embody those feelings, because those feelings is what is going to call that into your life. And that's why a lot of people have trouble manifesting as well, because in order to feel it, you got to believe it, you know. In order to really feel it in your heart, you got to believe it. And a lot of people are saying it, and they're writing it, and they're writing it, and they're writing it, and they're praying it, and everything else like that. But the energy that they don't believe, so the energy that the subconscious energy that they're putting into it is an energy of desperation, you know. And desperation and abundance are on the same frequency, you know. And the desperation energy comes in, like I said, because there is no belief. So you actually have to believe, so that you can buy into the feeling and really call, you know, those things to you. And that's one of the major tricks to manifesting, you know. So it's so crazy how all of these things are tied in together. All of these things work together, you know, and it's super excited to be extending the Kenya's Crystals line, you know. So these are some of the pieces from the new Kenya's Crystals line, you know. It's my 333 necklace, you know. I love my angel numbers. We all have angel numbers. I know, especially my community, we see angel numbers all the time, you know, and there's certain ones that resonate with you. So 333 is one that's really I'm working with right now, you know. I got my Cancer necklace on, you know, because I'm a Cancer. Shout out to all the other Cancers, you know. And so I'm really having a lot of fun picking these pieces and putting these collections together. I have so much stuff coming up, and I'm excited to share with you guys. And of course, you guys already know, since y'all are part of the code, y'all get first release, y'all get special discounts, y'all get the inside on everything, because y'all my peoples and I love y'all, you know. So like I said, we got more stuff coming up really soon. I'm gonna check in with you guys again. Definitely. What is today? What is today? It's like a Wednesday. I'll check in with you guys soon. I'm not gonna put a date on it because I already know myself. I'm gonna check in with you guys soon, you know, and we're gonna keep it rocking. All right, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.